In question 7, we're going to see how to identify functions. We have multiple representations here. It says, number 7 says, which relation does not? So you want to be careful. We want to look for which one does not represent a function. We have a table, we have an equation, we have a graph, and we have a map. Now for the first one, we're going to look for repetitions in the x's. So look at the x's. Are there any repetitions? No. So since there are no repetitions in the x's, it means it's a function. So no repetitions in the x's imply that this is a function. Alright? So we're looking for what's not a function, so we eliminate option 1. Down to option 2, we're going to use something called the vertical line test. Okay, so if you draw a vertical line and you sweep your vertical line past the entire domain of the graph, if it intersects exactly once, then you know that it is a function. It passes the vertical line test. So you can see here that this vertical line intersects this graph at exactly one point at multiple places. So once, it's just one point of intersection every single time. Okay, so let's do some more. So that's one point of intersection, one point. It cuts just once. Now what does that mean? It means that this function passes the vertical line test, which means it is a function. Okay, so this is a point of intersection here. The first one, let's go ahead and try it. So the first point of intersection, just one, once. Everywhere in the domain, it just intersects exactly once. Okay, so let's say you had a function that looks something like this. This will fail the vertical line test because if you draw a vertical line, it's going to intersect at more than one point. So this is not a function, but this graph we have right here is an absolute value function, is a function because it passes the vertical line test. Okay, so passes the vertical line test, or the VLT, vertical line test. What does that mean? It means that this is a function. And that's not what we're looking for. We're looking for something that's not a function. Okay, so let's go to option 3. So we have a function right here. All we do is we look at the power of the y and also what's around it. Y doesn't have a power, so the default power is going to be 1. Alright? So if your y, your output, has an odd power, or it doesn't have, or does not have absolute value brackets, then it is a function, and that's the case here. Okay, so for 3, y has an odd power. If it has an even power, then it's not a function. Okay, y has an odd power and no absolute value brackets. Absolute value brackets. All right, so you have an odd power, no absolute value brackets. What does that tell us? That tells us that your equation represents that of a function. Remember, we're focusing just on the output here, just the y. Alright, so let me give you an example of something that's not a function. If you have something like this, y squared is equal to 3x plus 1, this is not a function because you have an even power. Or if you have absolute value of y plus x equals 4, this is not a function because you have absolute value brackets around the y. Okay, this is not what we want. We want something that is not a function. Question 4. This is a map. An easy way to attack this problem is to convert it into form 1, which is a tabular format. So let's just convert this into a table real quick, and then it'll be easy for us to determine if it's a function or not just by looking for repetitions in the inputs. Okay, so we are going to call our inputs the x's and our outputs the y. Okay, so what do we have here? We notice that 1 goes to 4, and then another 1 goes to 5. That's already a problem. Why is it a problem? Because we have repetition in the x's. And then 2 goes to 6, 2 goes to 7. That's another problem. 3 goes to 8, and 3 goes to 9. Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a function, okay? We have repetitions in the x's, in the inputs, um, so that means it's not a function. A function assigns every input to exactly one output. You cannot have one input being assigned to more than one output. Okay, so one input, one output. So this is not a function, and ladies and gentlemen, the answer for question number 7 is for a relation that is not a function.